Hey, today we got a little bit of thing on worship and what it's supposed to look like. Man, this should be good. Let's go. Yeah, that's right. We are in 1 Corinthians. We're going to be in chapter 14, and we're going to look at verse 33. It's just kind of a short little passage, but it's in the middle of a kind of something that Paul's talking about. He's talking about prophecy in church, like in a worship service, like when we gather as God's people, we call that church. And it's super important, super just helpful for us, and really kind of a vital part of our lives. We're with other believers and we're singing to God together. We're hearing from Him. We're praying together. All those things happen. And Paul is trying to maybe correct some abuses that were happening here. And I am not here to kind of throw shade on any church or way that you do church or any of those things. Man, I love really traditional stuff. Our church does that, and I love really non-traditional stuff, and our church does that as well. Because we realize it's not just about the style; it's about the heart. It's about the content, the centrality of Christ and what He's doing. That's what matters. That we realize that we're together and all those things. Those are the things that matters. And those can fit within all kinds of different styles. Now, you might not agree, but that's okay. We can chat about that in the comments, maybe. All right. So, but he's talking about things, particularly like speaking in tongues. And again, I'm not here to do a video on that, but to say that it was kind of a problem from what he is saying. There was some issue, and he's saying like tongues could be good because it shows the power of God. It shows that God is directing whatever that person is saying, but there needs to be someone else who interprets what that is saying. And what that adds up to is something miraculous, and it's a message that maybe that the people need to hear, something that's pretty important, and He wants to get their attention. Okay, that's kind of the hope of it. It's not something to show how spiritual you are, to show off in any way. Any kind of show, any of those things are not good. And God doesn't want a whole bunch of people speaking all at the same time. And here's what he says in 1 Corinthians. Again, we're in chapter 14, verse 33. He says, God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. Not a God of confusion, but of peace. So if I look at my church service and it's chaotic and it's crazy and everybody's kind of competing to speak at a certain time, like all together, like maybe we're praying and everybody's just praying out loud and it's just this cacophony of craziness and noise. Now some might say, well, we're all praying. But how can you hear? How can anyone really focus or cut through all of that? That's the point. And here's the deal. You're not in church just for yourself. We're considerate of others. That's why Paul is a big fan of, one person speaks at a time. And when you have a couple of different people, 2 to 3 or 4 speaking at the same time, it becomes chaos pretty quickly. And there's no clarity, right? There's confusion and not peace. So that's the guidance that Paul gives to us today. Like that in our worship, in our lives, and even like when we're just praying, it's just us. And how do we kind of shut out some of the noise that's around us, that's even in our minds, that might cause confusion, that might cause like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? There's all these different things shouting at me. Just remember, God's shooting for peace for you, for clarity, so that your heart knows that you're cared for, that your heart remembers that He died for you, that your heart remembers that He rose for you, and that He is faithful to you and He is with you. We want that message to come through clearly, whether it's just you and someone else, or you're in with 1,000 other believers at one time. We want it to be clear, and we want it to be get through into our hearts and souls. All right, I hope that helps. You have a great rest of your day. If this is helpful, please hit that subscribe button, share this with somebody. That's how this YouTube thing works. So appreciate it. Love you guys. You have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.